Hello. I made this video and I put my two cats in it, Sandy and Smokey. And the computer turned them both in. How did. You know, that just shows you how horrible I am at this. Shit. It turns them both into Smokey. But, anyways, oh, I got itch. So there's Sandy over there. So, anyways, welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina K-R-S-T-I-N-A. This is where we read books and talk about books. No special effects going on here. No theme music. None of that fancy smancy stuff going on here. And this is Flashback Monday, where we talk about all the books in this magazine. Probably 60 or 70 today. We'll see if you'll stay with me. I try and do a little from each section. Regency, mystery, contemporary romance, inspirational, um, sci-fi, harlequin, erotica, uh, mystery, suspense, all of them. So shall we get started? This is August 2012. We started with 2007. We are working our way through 2016, and then we'll do some other stuff. So, our first book today is Juliana Gray, A Lady Never Lies. Four and a half stars. Gray debuts with a smart, witty tale that introduces readers to a marvelous, unconventional, eccentric cast of characters and an enchanting Italian setting. Here's a story that feeds readers' hearts, minds, and souls and captures the spirit of the era, the beauty of the countryside, and the magic of love. Fleeing her creditors, Lady Alexander Morley and friends plan to study in Tuscany. Inventor and automotive scientist Phineas Burke and two compatriots are on the way to Tuscany too. They meet in an inn where Alexander uses her wiles to seduce the men out of the only room available. Then they discover they have rented the same castle. Finn hasn't shown an interest in women since he began improving his horseless carriage to win an upcoming race, but he admires Alexandra's headstrong nature, intelligence, and passion. He would marry her except for his friend's interference. When he discovers she has a financial interest in a horseless carriage company, he's furious. Alexandra does the only thing possible. She enters the race. Okay. It's a little more modern than I'm used to. Forever a lady. Heather Marvin. Forever. Four and a half stars. Marvell continues to push the boundaries of the genre with an emotionally unconventional love story. The seemingly mismatched characters, a rough around the edges man and an adventurous woman, draw readers into an intriguing plot. However, it is the underlying powerful central pull between them that lures readers further into the novel and the message of how the power of love brings out the best in each of us that brings the deep sigh ending. As a young man, Matthew Milton lost everything, ending up in the slums of New York City. He uses his intellect and newly acquired fighting skills to rise to a place of power in the Five Point slum. Unusual circumstances send Matthew to London, where an encounter with an exquisite lady, Bernadette Burton, turns his life inside out. Bernadette has had enough of society, and Matthew's roughness excites her. He's a man who makes his own rules. Their relationship moves from lust to passion, from a one night stand to forever, from brawls to kidnapping, from London to New York. As Bernadette's faith in Matthew has Matthew fighting for the better. Interesting. Jennifer Haymore, Pleasures of a Tempted Lady. Looks like a series. I'm a series person. Hey, and don't forget to check out Star Trek Next Generation recaps every Friday and if then afternoons. If you like this author, then maybe like that author. We did get a little carried away with Halloween, Thanksgiving, and Christmas, but we're starting some new stuff in January. Um Read it 4.5 stars. Readers have eagerly awaiting the sequel to Confessions of an Improper Bride in order to finally uncover the truth about Meg Donovan's death. Haymore creates a highly satisfying answer, drawing the readers in with wonderful, realistic characters, adventure, passion, and unexpected plot twist, with crafting another delightful entry in Donovan's series. Meg Donovan spent years as the hostage of a ruthless pirate, and now she's finally escaped with a little boy, Jake. They're adrift in a small craft when Captain William Langley rescues them. Will cannot believe the woman before him is his long-lost love. Meg carries the emotional scars of her captivity and refuses to risk Will and Jake's lives, for she knows her captor wants revenge for stealing Jake away. Will vows to never lose Meg again. Bringing her back to England opens the door to scandal, grave danger, and dark secrets that could destroy them both. You'd think I'd learn after all this time, and I did try. Um, Jane Feather. I've been trying to find her books again. I had a bunch and I donated them, and I regret it severely now. The Seven Brides series, I really want to get that back. Um, The Unsuitable Bride, 4.5 stars. Readers will be entranced as Feather infuses her protagonist with intelligent wit and maturity, along with a dose of sensuality and a small fascination with antiquarian books. What a wonderful and satisfying conclusion to the Blackwater Bride series. Upon her father's death, Alexandria Douglas and her sister are disinherited and declared illegitimate. The family estate, Cambray Abbey, goes to a distant cousin whom Alexander has never met, along with a collection of rare books. I love rare books. Do you love rare books? I love rare books. Do you love rare books? I love rare books. I love rare books. Old, and they gotta be genealogical in nature. Genealogical in nature. Give me births, give me death, give me marriages, give me vital records, give me wills, give me documents. I love me some documents. Um, Alexander secures a position posing as the dowdy Mistress Hathaway, a librarian of the Abbey, and plots to reclaim her inheritance. When Peregrine Sullivan arrives to spend time with a friend, he can't shake the feeling that this drab female is not what she appears to be. That's a good one. I might have to keep that for something else. I had an idea. I had an idea. Only me to pick a pen that doesn't write. Um, what's next? Oh, my gal pal has left. My gal pal has left. Um, Jody Thomas. Wild Rose. Now, how is this? See, this is too late for me to be a Regency. But it's in here because it's mixed with historical, so it qualifies as historical, but it doesn't qualify as a Regency for me. Regency is London in early 1800s. This is late 1800s. And this is the United States. Wild Texas Rose, Jody Thomas, 4.5 stars. 1876 Texas. I think it looks better. The lighting, there we go. That looks. Thomas enchants fans with another offering in Whispering Mountain series. There is magic as Thomas tempers the rough texture of the air with tenderness, allowing readers to savor the atmosphere and yet understand the harshness and unpredictability of Texas life. It is Thomas' understanding of the Texas spirit infused in her story that deeply touches readers' hearts and souls. Rose McCurry hasn't left Whispering Mountain in years, but when an old school friend requests she be maid of honor, Rose heads for Fort Worth. Adopted McMurray and Texas Ranger Duncan is in town on business and vows to keep an eye on Rose. There's danger from outlaws, a puzzling relationship between Rose's friend and a judge, as well as a mysterious driver Duncan hires to escort Rose around town. Then there's the undeniable attraction between Rose and Duncan. Romance! Romance alert! Romance alert! Deception. How did we skip? And if you want to see her identity, please go check out 3030 for New Year's Eve. No matter what time of day, I do a video, she will go off during the video. Once, 2, 3, 4, 5 times, doesn't matter. She can't tell time. I shouldn't have put the new batteries in her 3 years ago, and they still work. How did I miss a page? I missed a page. That's not good. That's not good. That's not good at all. Alright, naked guy on the cover. So, I guess books with naked guys on the cover, Sal, but you don't never see a naked girl on the cover, do you? No. Naked girl on the cover is porn, but not a naked guy. We live in a two-sided society, don't we? 4.5 stars. Not only has Kennedy created a marvelous atmospheric medieval romance, but also an exciting, fast-paced adventure that grabs hold with a quick dialogue and appealing characters. Let's see. Sophia Darnley isn't beyond stealing to reclaim her father's ledger, a book that could destroy the most powerful men in England. She's stopped by Keir, the man who deserted her years ago. Keir is on a mission of vengeance. Sophia insinuates herself into his scheme so that she can locate the ledger, posing as a wealthy shipping magnate with Keir as her trusted employee. It is a carefully plotted scam until their passions are ignited. Interesting. A woman made for pleasure. Again, I skipped another page. Don't like that when I do that. Here we go. A woman made for pleasure. Four stars. Book 1 in Sinclair's new trilogy is spectacular. It's a delightful romp full of wild escapades, dangerous spies, secret codes, vengeful traitors, and wicked liaisons. Lady Millie Aldon is an incomparable Chase Wentworth, Marquise of Castellon, has always loved Millie's zest for life. her courage and steadfast loyalty. Now the childhood twig has become desirable woman, who stirs fiery passions with him. Millie, too, is confused by her new-found feelings for Chase. He is just a friend. When a greedy gold digger sets his cap for him, Millie rescues him for herself, but Chase is interested in Millie, has unwittingly made her the target of traitor and murder. Oops. Oops. Apps. Oops. 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 Manda Collins. How to Romance a Rake. Again, a naked guy. You don't see a naked woman now, do you? Damn, Sinus Strip is bad today. How to Romance a Rake. 4 stars. Colin's second installment of the Ugly Duckling series is a lovely, sensitive romance and tout thriller. Collins brings a dashing hero and a wounded wallflower together in the type of love story readers take to heart. With compassion and perception, she delves into issues faced by those who survive physical and emotional trauma. Miss Juliet Shelby is an outcast. Her limp, along with her caution, has relegated her to a wallflower status. Lord Alec Deverell has risen above rumors and past demons to become the Tun's daring trendsetter. When he hears Juliet being disbarred, he graciously offers to teach her to dance. He soon discovers Juliet is a delight. Juliet confides in him that her friend is missing. He insists on helping, and they are drawn into London's seediest neighborhoods. Juliet is the kind of woman Alex wants by his side forever. Let's see what happens. Touch of a Scoundrel. Purple. Naked guy. Almost naked woman. Wants a little something. For those of you who want a little something. I like purple. Oh, I got itch. Touch of Scandal. I love this magazine. Do you see? Those are all the Regency romances covered in this book and this magazine. You don't see this many in a regular magazine today. You don't. None of them do this many of anything. Ah. Touch of Scandal, Mia Marlowe, 4 stars, Victorian England. Marlowe's gifts readers with the third in her series and brings a touch of paranormal. The sizzling tale of seduction, suspense, and adventure is what readers expect from Marlowe, who enhances her plot with wit, strong characters, and a plotting and plenty of heat. Griffin Nash, Earl of Devonwood, touches an object he has visions of the future. After his brother's fiancée possession bring him pictures of a heated embrace, he cannot deny his response. Professor's daughter's Emmeline Farnsworth is a con artist out to pinch his brother and use the funds to pay for her mentor's medical expenses. Emmeline knows the danger of falling into Griffin's arms, but she can't prevent her overwhelming desire for the guy. We'll see what happens there. Wedded in Sin. Again with the naked guy. And a white cover. White doesn't show very good on my computer. 4 stars. Lee Coast showcases her weary sense of humor, along with talents for creating the era and crafting engaging characters who reach out to readers because of their intellectual and passion. Second son of nobleman Samuel Morrison stumbles across someone throwing a young woman out of her home and tossing what appears to be a man's foot into the rubbish. Believing something odd is afoot, Samuel tries to help. Penny Shoemaker's parents were murdered and her family's business torn away. She needs the discarded foot molds to maintain her livelihood. Samuel is intrigued by Penny. He offers to help investigate the murder and theft. This leads Penny into Samuel's social world. See what happens there. And Brenda Joy's Persuasion. Now, if you haven't seen, please go back and check. I know I did it at some point. She has is this no, this isn't. She has two series. She has two series. She has the Francesca Cahill and the Wens. And at the time, I was really invested in the Cahill series. And we're going to talk about that again in January or February when I haven't figured out which I'm going to do yet. But, because it qualifies for a couple of different genres. It qualifies for Torn Between Two Lovers, and may do that for February. But it also, it's like Victoria Thompson's Gaslight series. This takes place in 1900, and Francesca is an amateur sleuth, and she helps the cops solve murder mysteries. And I think it went not 8 or 9 books around there. And this is just a rumor. It's just hypothetical. It's just what I remember hearing. It could be false. It could be true. That her publishers said that the Ren series was getting better reception from the public, and they didn't want her to do Cahill anymore, so Cahill just stops. There's just no more books on it. And she continued the Ren for a few more books too. And I don't think she did it any longer. But this is another one. Joyce continues her Spy Masters Men trilogy as a double agent plays a dangerous game of love. In her usual fashion, there is a dose of history and romance, with engaging characters, depth of emotion, and drama, though not as steamy as some of her previous novels. The Reign of Terror grips France when English spy Simon Grenville is imprisoned and forced to spy for the French. Simon returns from Paris for his wife's funeral and to make sure his sons are safe. He unexpectedly sees Amelia Greystone, the woman he loved and left 10 years ago. Amelia believes she is only concerned for Simon's children, but she agrees to become his housekeeper. But after rushing to comfort him in the throes of a nightmare, she falls in love. Aww. Dorothy Garlock. No. It may have been. It may have been in another issue. Sometimes they do a full page ad the month before it comes out. So the full page ad will be in magazine A, and the actual review will be in magazine B. Oh, there's a bigger cover for the Persuasion. Oh, and I never took any of the cards out. They're still here. I could have sworn there was. Oh, there it is. There we go. By Starlight. 4 stars. Few authors can recreate the atmosphere of the 1930s small town as beautifully and faithfully as Garlock. She imbues each story with a classic American aura while creating a touching, realistic plotline. It's been 7 years since Jack Rucker left Colton, 7 years during which Maddie Aldridge has waited for him to return. Maddie is dealing with her broken heart, barely making ends meet in her father's mercantile. With her father becoming too ill to run the business, Maddie faces a difficult decision. Allow a speakeasy to open in the basement or make an enemy of a ruthless business partner. Once he sees her, Jack realizes he needs Maddie and will do anything to reclaim her love and trust. Right? Um, Alexander Hawkins. Oh, the strip is bad. All afternoon with a scandalous marquise. 4 stars. There are no men like Lords of Vice, those dashing heroes created to steal hearts. Hawkins once more fascinates with an emotional love story of the bad boy who meets his match in extraordinary woman. Simon Jeffries, Marquis of Saint Hill, is devilishly handsome and rakishly charming. When Madame Venner, owner of an exclusive gentlemen's club, the Golden Pearl, dons her half mask, every man in the city desires her. No one knows she was once Catherine Devil, a young woman who fled to London and found refuge in a house of pleasure. Saint pursues Madame Venner until she allows him into her bed, but one night is not enough for either of them. Venner takes a dangerous step by once becoming Catherine and meeting Saint as the shy young woman she used to be. Hmm. That might be another good one for my thingy. Um, Gail Callan. I just saw that. Oh, Return of the Viscount. Up, naked guy on the cover. How many books have we done today? How many books have we Regency books where the guy has had this exact same thing? The open shirt. That it's still a big thing. A guy with no shirt or open shirt. And there she goes again. Good grief. Stars. With its powerful themes and emotional impact, this loving crafted first of Galen's Bride of Redemption series uses letters to set the stage for a marriage and convenience plot with a twist. Celia Mallory begins an innocent correspondence with one of her father's military friends, Sergeant Michael Blackthorne, believing he is an older gentleman. When she is pressed for the funds she is to inherit upon marriage, she proposes they wed by proxy, never thinking he is young, virile, and a man who wants a real wife. From the moment he meets Celia, Michael realizes the debt of honor he owed her father is going to be difficult to repay. He must stay and help her sort out problems in running the estate and managing her rebellious brother. And soon steamy passion envelops them both. You can see that coming. Um, you know, uh, oh, that bride wore pearls. 4 stars. Readers introduced to the secret St. James Society and Lady Anastasia Stafford in Carlyle's previous novels have eagerly awaited the story. Carlyle allows her well-drawn characters and exploitation of their motivation to drive the plot more than the suspects aspects of the storyline. After her husband's death, Lady Anastasia Stafford leaves India for England to make a safe home for her sons. She needs the help of Guardians of St. James Society. Rance Wilhelm, the Earl of Lazenby, and Guardian is a man used to crossing the lines of the law. Protecting Anish may be more dangerous than any scandalous he's committed. It takes several years for Anish and Rance to develop a relationship beyond simple friendship. So this book takes place over a couple of years. That's why it's so thick. Don't you love large print? Yay! Um, Jane Girder. The Mad Lord's Daughter. Full dress. The Mad Lord's Daughter. You know, when see that name, I'm like, it needs the all at the end. um, oh, that's one I didn't see. 4 stars. The Victorian, a dark secret, a hero who doesn't believe in true love, and a heroine who will touch your heart. Add depth to Gooder's message of the power of love to overcome all. Melissa Atwell and her father live a reclusive life. A beautiful and well-educated young woman, she is taught the social graces but is innocent in the ways of the world. She is not prepared for her father's death, nor does she know of the secret he takes to the grave. Oops. Her uncle Lord Braddock calls on his son John to help ease Melissa into society. John has never met anyone like Melissa. He cannot bear the thought of marrying one of his friends. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. This is kind of weird. So, her father dies, and her uncle has his son. So that means they would be first cousins, immediate first cousins. Unless, of course, she's not really her father's daughter. That would be the only way around this, because this sounds very incestuous to me. Um, okay. So, mainstream fiction. The Sweetness of Forgetting. Four and a half stars. This is the kind of book that stays with you weeks after completion. A seemingly typical Cape Cod domestic tale gives way to an incredible journey leading to an unexpected Holocaust subplot. The novel does not present an optimistic view, it's a window into the horrors of the time. With a mother who recently succumbed to cancer, a surly teenage daughter, and a bakery on the verge of closure, Hope McKenna Smith is just barely holding everything together. When Hope's French grandmother gives her a list of names and birth dates and begs her to find them in France. She's not sure if it's just the Alzheimer talking, but when Hope finally makes the trek, she's shocked to learn a family secret. Interesting. Let's see here if I can get this going. I should not have put these so far away. Ah, and in the shadow of the Bayon. 4 stars. The horrors of Khmer Rouge regime are still only known on the surface for most who did not experience those years of the revolution. Ratner's unique perspective makes the horrors and the struggles come to life in this fictionalized memoir. She conveys the seriousness of the subject and immerses readers in the experience in an empathetic manner. Her tale is distinct from few others of her sort because of the presence of her father. 7-year-old Rami's young, idyllic life is idyllic, swathed in the love of her mother and father. She is raised in an intellectual world of poetry, science, and close-knit community of family and servants who live behind the walls of Penhurst. Rami doesn't truly understand what grandmother queen and her father title of prince means until the day that Kemerogel arrives and changes their lives forever. See what happens there. Um, Perfect is overrated. Um, I don't. Don't fall. Me and my leaning tower piece of perfect is overrated. 4.5 stars. Perfect might be overrated, but Bergen's second book is not. From the very sentence, she entices the reader and makes it impossible to put this book down. Kate is a funny, relatable character who's easy to root for. The best part of the book is the relationship and how realistic they are. The murderer will come as a surprise, and Bergen justifies the motive so that while it's hard to see coming, it makes perfect sense. Kate Algier, former ADA, has been having a few hard years. Ever since she gave birth, she has been suffering from postpartum depression that she has not been able to kick. That is until one of the mommies from her daughter's school is murdered. The murder gives Kate a reason to get out of bed and begins her own investigation, even though she knows her detective Paul, ex-husband Paul, would not be thrilled. Detective series. I like detective series. Um, Mary Carter, The Things I Do for You. 4.5 stars. Carter's latest is a marvelous combination of wit and heart and a reflection of the way a couple can endure one another's faults for the sake of love and devotion. Told mostly from Bailey's point of view, the novel also gives readers a glimpse of Brad's side through a series of brief journal entries. Bailey and Brad Jordan were childhood sweethearts and have been a couple for years. Now that they're in their late 30s, Bailey is ready to have a child, but Brad's eccentric business ventures have delayed them from starting a family. When Brad gets in a car accident and has a near-death experience, he is inspired to purchase a lighthouse and start a B&B. With all of that, can they still have children? They need to get going quickly. Um, One Way Mountain, Emily Richards. Four and a half stars. Richard continues to amaze and thrill the readers with protagonists who realize they need to change and make their lives mean something. The characters in their latest Goddess Anonymous novel are smartly developed throughout, and while you may not like them at the beginning, you will adore them at the end. Charlotte Hale has a successful career in real estate development, an impressive home, and more money than she needs. She is also unhappy, having been so focused on her career that she alienated her family. She realizes she will have to change a grab her only chance at happiness. She helps a young woman, Harmony, get back on her feet by opening her home instead of her wallet. Okay. I often thought if I had a bigger house and I would definitely um have rooms for people during the holidays, definitely, absolutely. If I had the money. If I had the money, you could make a nice little one bedroom studio apartment. You can make a couple of them. And yeah, well, it depends on the size of your property too, and your space. But I had a relative who's no longer with us, and if I had $500,000, I would have bought the property. But I didn't have $500,000, so. But I could see, I could have put two studio apartments in their backyard. Um, One of my friends did that, but she made it. It was her mother-in-law, and then they made a little tunnel that connected to the main house. Um, playing, I mean, playing with matches. Carolyn Wall. Mm. Wall has been compared to Flannery O'Connor and Eudora Welty by many. This is a mystery romance and, of course, the witty, colorful characters readers will not soon forget. Tough cookie Cleo Shine has survived a raging drunk mother, a jerk of a husband, and a crushing poverty when a tornado destroys her house and she and her children must return to hometown. She stays with Jerusalem Lovemore, her neighbor who raised her, when secrets from the past come to life in this sleepy little town. Let's see what happens there. Goodbye for now. I don't know. Does that mean he's going off to war? Four stars with simple, straightforward prose, refreshingly uncomplicated characters. Frankel's bittersweet tale takes on an earnest look at love and loss in the digital era. A programmer for a Seattle-based internet dating company, Sam Elling creates the perfect algorithm for making matches and finds his ideal mate in Meredith Maxwell. She works in the company marketing department. Sam and Meredith immediately hit it off, but the romance is rushed when when Meredith's grandmother Livy dies, and with Meredith's mourning, the two decide to move into Livy's old apartment. To ease Trying to ease Meredith's grief, Sam creates a computer program that allows her to email and video chat with a virtual Livy. It sparks an idea for a website that allows those left behind to virtually communicate with their lost loved ones, and the pair quickly find themselves in controversy. An eclectic community of mourners, but tragedy strikes, and Sam finally begins to realize the understanding and limitations of technology. Uh, and it only got 2 stars, but it's here, so I'll do it. The Making of Us. Um, 3 stars. Jules' latest is smart and witty, yet sad and extremely touching. Told from the viewpoints of Lydia's siblings Dan and Robin and their biological father's close friend Maggie, this book gives us a glimpse at the tumultuous lives of each major character as they come to terms with their new identities and blood relations. As their biological father and sperm donor Daniel lies dying, the siblings take advantage of the opportunity to forge new lifelong bonds with each other. Okay. On to inspirational. Um, Mindy Clark. Ah, we just saw that. The Amish Bride. 4.5 stars. This wonderful Women of Lancaster County novel gives outsiders a glimpse of what life is like for Amish and Mennonite young people. There are twists and turns and even a mysterious journal that will keep readers interested. The characters are well-rounded and well thought out by two amazing authors. Ella Bayer, a Mennonite, has been in love with Ezzie Grundy, who is Amish, ever since she was little. They both know one of them will have to convert to the other's way of life, but to choose to deal with that when the time comes. When Ezra's family sends him to an Amish farm in Indiana, Ella follows him, much to the surprise of her family. Ella's grandmother gave her a journal that belonged to Ella's great-grandmother and wants her to figure out all the symbols mean. While in Indiana, Ella meets Luke, who is Amish. They feel a connection and try to figure out the secrets of the journal together. Okay. So does that mean she's gonna get together with Luke instead of not Ezra? Have to read it to find out. Uh Mary Connolly, Over the Edge. The guy with the cowboy hat. Four stars. Book 3 of the Kincaid Bride's Ancestor. With her trademark laugh out loud moments, Connolly breathes new life into an old storyline. Since Kincaid has not been the same since the fire in the cave, did not help when he ran off to fight in the Civil War and came back a bit touched in the head. He has learned he got married while he was away, but he does not remember his wife, Callie. She has searched for him with the intention of killing him for leaving her. Seth knows deep inside that she won't kill him and will in fact help him heal. See how that goes. Um there is I should have picked it up. I had it yesterday. I literally had it in my hand yesterday. Um let's see. Wait a second. Um all right. Lucy Foley, The Guest List, right? If you haven't read, I think I did a video on this. I'm pretty sure I did a video on this. We'll have to go check. But there's no resolution to the book. It just ends. And that's what frustrated me the most about it. I'm pretty sure I did a video. We'll have to go please go check that out. There's no ending to it. The book just ends. So I thought of this when this came up for today. 4 stars. Wayland has penned another sweet tale with an amazing seaside setting. The characters are incredibly vivid and easy to identify and root for. When Macy Dillon was a child, her family would visit the same beach house every summer. It was there she discovered her artistic talent. Every year she left drawings in the guest book, when she found accompanied the next summer by the artwork of a boy who never revealed his identity. When she was 16, her father died and they never returned. Now an adult with a daughter of her own, Mercy returns to the beach house to see if she can unveil the artist and the secret. Oops. Um, let's see. Irene Hannon, Lethal Legacy. That just shows that you can put a guy on the cover and still be a good book. And I hope my audio is okay. I think it's okay. We haven't had a garbled season in a while. Oh, it's always scary. You try and put the hours, the weeks into these videos, do the video, and then have it go garbled. The heart wrenching, the heartbreak. 4 stars. The conclusion to the Guardian of Justice series will leave readers satisfied. Hannon has a wonderful gift for engaging her readers in the emotions and plight of her characters. Easy pacing with moments of moderate tension make this a great summer read. Kelly Warner cannot believe her father took his own life. Even though she has proof that it was murder, the local police aren't anxious to give her credibility. When she lands in the ER with a mysterious illness, it leads Detective Cole Taylor to wonder if Kelly could be onto something. She probably is. Courtney Walsh, The Sweet Homecoming. Did I? I missed that one. I should have seen that. Um, Sweetness Homecoming. Sweet Haven. Excuse me. 4 stars. The sequel to Sweet Haven Summer brings back well-remembered and well-loved characters. The second book starts where the first one left off. Readers might be a little lost at first if they haven't read the first one. The Scrapbook Circle have come back to Sweet Haven to finish their individual scrapbooks and to be sure to find some closure on their past and let go of their grieving for Suzanne, the other member of their circle. Megan has had a successful singing career and has gotten clean. She's come back to fight to get custody of her children. Jane has returned to try to forgive Megan for causing her son's death. Lila has come to start a life without her husband, and Megan's twins are kidnapped. Okay, that doesn't sound like a homecoming to me. Um, yeah. Let's see. How many stars did they get? 2. Um, we got a couple of teen books. Um, oh, just a second. Now, I have said the whole time I've been doing these videos how relevant this magazine is today. How relevant this magazine, these books you can still find today, these authors still exist today. They are still relevant. You can still find new series, new mysteries, new sci-fis. You can start a series. The author may have 20 books on the shelf right now. The book may be 2 or 3 in here, but maybe now there's 10 books on the shelf and you can do a nice series. This magazine is still relevant. Some of the books in here are still on fire today. Still on fire. You know how popular Harry Potter is today? And it's been popular. all these years. The movies, the DVDs, I am forever selling those over and over and over and over and over again in the shop. People are forever coming in for Harry Potter. He's a hot seller. Constantly hot seller. Insurgent. Game of, oh, that other thing. I forget what the name of it is. And this series is hot. Massively on fire. Massively on fire today. And I own a few. I did an unboxing a couple months ago of Cassandra Clare and this lady. Because I didn't have the new one. And there's a waiting list for this sucker. Can you believe this? It was published in 2012. Seriously, 2012. It's in this magazine. 4.5 stars. Fans of Tamara Pierce and George R. R. Martin pick up this book. Mass young adult fantasy world is one of the most compelling that this reviewer has visited all year. At 18, Selena Sidorian is the most deadly assassin in all of Ardalan, and for years she's been incarcerated at the salt mines. When Dorian, the Crown Prince of Ardalan, offers her freedom, she knows she'll take the bargain no matter the terms. The deadly beauty accepts his proposition to fight for a chance to be the king's assassin. She'll face 23 other killers to win the job, but no one expects who else comes to compete. So go watch my unboxing. But that tells you how relevant this magazine is today. Today! There's actually a waiting list for this book. Could you believe it? And it was published in 2012. Pushing the Limits, Katie McCurry. One and a half stars. Complex, emotional, and gripping. The internal, external conflicts McCurry characters face will keep you enthralled, and the growth we'll experience throughout the novel takes a talent. I can't wait for McCurry's next book. Echo doesn't remember how she got the scars on her arm. All she knows is that she's now a social pariah. She keeps her arms covered as rumors fly about what really happened. Tough guy Noah's attitude has earned him a bad rap at school, but he doesn't care. His only concern is getting custody of his 2 younger brothers when he turns 18. With a little luck, a lot of love, and the help of a social worker who refuses to give up on him, he'll get custody, maybe. False. Dan Croco's False Memory. Four stars. Croco's debut tackles questions of identity and trust in this non-stop throw-ride. Readers won't be able to catch their breath as they follow kick-butt protagonist Miranda on her search for answers. Miranda North doesn't remember anything about herself except her name and age, though she's discovering she got some major super spy skills. Miranda meets up with Peter, who brings her back to her home to compound to meet Olive and Noah, the boyfriend Miranda can't remember. As she searches for the truth, she must decide who she can trust. Another lady that is still relevant today, and her books still sell like hotcakes today. And I have quite a few of these too. The Golden Lily. 4 stars. Mead takes fans back to her complex vampire society in this intricate bloodlines tale. And you know, L.J. Smith also writes the Vampire Diaries. And then there's also the Vampire Academy out there too. Alchemist Sydney has been enjoying her time at posh Palm Springs, a boarding school, watching over Jill, Eddie, and Adrian and the gang. Maybe a little too much. As the shogi loom ever closer, serious Sydney must stay focused on her assigned task and not get too close to her charges. That sounds a lot like the Vampire Academy. The girls watching over the next future queen or something, but the Vampire Academy. Um, No Boys Allowed. Nini Simone. There we go. Uh, just sir. This is a fun, although Jem is angry and combative, she blossoms as the story proceeds. Her foster family is full of colorful characters. Naeem, her love interest, and Pop, her best friend, both have positive influences on her. Jem and her little brother Malky have bounced from foster home to foster home. Her new family, think Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns, is willing to open their home and hearts. If only Jem would drop the horrible attitude. Her foster brother Man introduces her to Pop, who was her childhood best friend, and the members of the Rich Girl Glitz Club. Okay. Um, we missed a couple. The Sweetest Belle. Suzanne Selforce, 4 stars. With a Princess Bride feel and a hard-won happily ever after, this perky fairy tale will strike a chord with fans of Ella Enchanted and Robin McKinley. Alternating points of view keep things interesting, and an ugly duckly protagonist is well worth rooting for. Emmeline Thistle is not a particularly lucky maid. Born with a club foot, she's growing up shunned. When the men and boys of her village are taken up as slave, Emily thinks she's done for, until she's adopted by a kind farmer's family. Forming a friendship with the former Wiley's son, Emily discovers a talent that makes her powerful and yet highly vulnerable. See what happens there. And damn, I got a lot of teen books today. Dark Destiny. 4 stars. MJ Putney. Putney's latest Dark Mirror outing is more romantic than previous action-packed installments. After saving Rebecca Weiss and her family in 1940, Tori and friends hurry back to their own time, where they face yet another threat to their beloved Britain. Allied has a terrifying vision of Napoleon and the French invading. Meanwhile, Nick Rainford and Rebecca are in 1940 trying to learn how to use her mysterious power when the situation with Napoleon grows bleak and the French troops land in Wales. Oops. Better hurry up there. Devin Monk. Tin Swift. Is that a teen book? Really? Oh, no. Sci fi. Excuse me. We have moved on to sci fi. Uh, Let me write that down. Um, let's just show that up again. Tim Swift. Tin Swift. Devin Monk. 4.5 stars. Monk has done it again. The second book in the Age of Steam series is as entertaining as the first. This skilled mashup of steel, steam, magic, and the Wild West will appeal to Elona fans. The addition of starships designed to prospect for Glim, a powerful and rare substance that can power machines, grow crops, and extend life, contributes to a masterful mix of elements. It is strongly recommended that you read the first book, Dead Iron, before you start this one, as Book 2 picks up on quests and storylines unresolved in the last adventure. Cedar Hunt, bounty hunter, shapeshifter, and magic tracker, has made several conflicting promises. He has promised to get May back to her coven so they can break the spell binding May and driving her mad, a spell cast by the coven. He has promised the Matter brothers he will help them find Holder, a mysterious magical weapon that could destroy mankind. He is also trying to shield his brother, tortured so long that he can no longer change from wolf to human, and Cedar is also trying to protect Rose. So we'll see what happens there. There's an awful lot packed into that. Sharps. 4.5 stars. This is an astonishingly good political fantasy. The varied cast of characters brought together by forces outside their control. Instead of the unusual magical means, the forces are political and economic. The story is intricately constructed, and each detail is important. There is an uneasy truce between the kingdoms of Shira and Prema for the first time in 40 years. As a gesture of goodwill and peace, the Shisharian government has decided to send their national fencing team on a tour of Prema, but first they need to assemble the team by any means necessary. The four fencers and the coach come together through a convalescence of blackmail, bribery, and coercion. You want to send a team of sports players that don't exist. So you have to create them and you have to threaten them to get them to go. So it's a made up team. Yeah. I don't think so. All right, let's move on to suspense. Um, what are we doing? Oh, ah, Iron Robards, the last victim. 4.5 stars. Exceptional storyteller Robot takes an unusual walk on the ghostly side with an unusual paranormal thriller. An intriguing police procedure crossed with a ghost story. This hunt for a serial killer is clever and creepy. It also features a splash of romance between the heroine and the ghost of a convicted killer. When she was a teen, Dr. Charlotte Stone was the only survivor of the Broadwalk killer. It was that event that caused Charlie to become a leading expert in serial killers. One day, while Charlie is interviewing a convicted killer, Michael Garland, in prison, two things happen. First, the FBI arrives wanting her to help on a new case that is frighteningly similar to the Broadwalk killer, and the Garland is stabbed to death by another prisoner. Charlie tries to save Garland, but that doesn't satisfy his angry ghost, who starts following Charlie. Charlie is so good at her job because she sees ghosts. Garland, however, is not following the usual script. As Charlie races to stop a killer, she faces the fear that it could be the man she escaped once before. Ah, I should love large print. Um, I might do a video on this lady where to go. I'm thinking about it. She's a motorcycle gal. Hell on Wheels. Julianne Walker. Debut author Walker is ready to join the ranks of romantic suspense writers with this Black Knights Incorporated series starter, and there's a whole bunch of them. And the next magazine says she gets full page spreads of all her books. Um, Nate is the most tortured of the heroes, holding on to a heart-wrenching secret while Allie balances between innocence and bravery. When combined, the duo chemistry sizzles. The dialogue is as snappy as it is convincing, and the cast of characters ranges from rugged to geeky. While mourning the devastating loss of her brother, Allie Morgan can't help but feel that she's being watched. She barely escaping an attempted kidnapping. She heads to the person she knows she can trust her, Nate Wheeler, her brother's childhood friend and a certified bad boy. Nate has always had a soft spot for Allie, and he vows to find out who's after her. Feelings between the couple, but there's a problem. Nate is keeping a deep, dark secret. Hey, at least she's got clothes on. But all the books have motorcycles. They're a motorcycle club. I'm surprised I didn't get this one. Does it have a picture? Does it have a picture? Because usually I would get this one. That's why. Full page spread. Hello, niggers. 4.5 stars. Niggers gives romantic suspense fans what they want in this complex mystery with a bit of romance. Main scenic visitors comes alive, and the characters aren't soon forgotten. Especially a villain who's impossible to spot. Again, she's gone off 5 times during this video. FBI agents Colin Donovan and Emma Sharp have worked well together in the past and barely begun their romance when their world gets turned upside down. This time with Russian arm dealers and a certain Art Nouveau jewelry collection that is in danger of being stolen. This brings trouble to Heron's Cove and Emma and Colin as well as her family and friends. This crisis is real, but who is behind it? I have to find out. Nowhere to Run. Another lady with a full page spread. There we go. 4.5 stars. Bush's latest takes readers for a thrilling ride, chock full of suspense and tension. Haunted by the death of her mother, a slightly paranoid Olivia Duncan returns to her office after stepping out to lunch to find her coworker shot to death. She bolts, thinking she's intended target. In her urgency to get away, she jumps into a car and takes a man by the name of Augie hostage. She has always believed someone from her past was after her and recently received a long-lost package sent to her by her mother before she died. Okay. Why don't you just ask for help? Why do you gotta take somebody for hostage? I don't get that situation. I don't understand that at all. I don't think I've got. Ouch. Oh, okay. Sweet talk. Julie girl. 4 stars. In her newest romantic thriller, Garwood introduces readers to gutsy survivor Olivia Mackenzie, set in Washington, D.C. This tale is filled with corruption, larceny, and danger. Garwood introduces 3 additional heroines in waiting who all beg for their own book. So obviously this is a a series starter. As a child, Olivia suffered from a rare disease and spent time in a hospital undergoing experimental treatment. Olivia bonded with her fellow sufferers Samantha Pearson, Jane Weston, and Collins Davenport, and through the years the quartet has remained as close as sisters. A lawyer working for the IRS besides the regular cases, Olivia also has a secret mission, tracking down her fund manager father's Ponzi scheme. During a sting gone wrong bad, FBI agent Grayson Kincaid meets Olivia and is instantly attracted. When Olivia is nearly killed during a shooting, Grayson vows to find out who is targeting her. See what happens there. I should have looked for this one. I don't think. Oh, well, there we go. Beverly Barton, don't say a word. Oh, where is it? I just heard. 4 stars. The second of Barton's Don't series, the reader is whisked back to Chattanooga. Barton really knows how to involve her readers emotionally. The chemistry between the main characters, Will and Julia, is palpable, and their passion just might make you blush. Fortunately, their relationship provides a nice balance when the tension is high. Sorry. That looks more like a serial killer cover, doesn't it? Um, The murder of a Chattanooga jug leaves homicide detective Julia Cross stunned by its horror. Pairing up with FBI agent Will Brannock, Julie soon discovers more victims all disfigured in the same way and left with the same souvenir. The trying to determine the killer's next victim leads their investigation to a twisted discovery of horror. Ah. Let's do. On to the mystery. Um, she also got the new author spotlight too, Miss Walker. The new author spotlight. There you go. There's 4 of them. Let's see. Hmm. The collar. We just did this in Riptide. The heroine was getting phone calls from a stalker. He followed her everywhere. 4.5 stars. The Collar by Karen Fossum. While the latest Inspector Sedger is a serious, rather sad mystery, Fossum's touch in writing is lighter than many Scandinavian authors. This book is not about who did it, as the reader knows by the second chapter. Instead, it's about the effect of terrible but non-lethal pranks on the targeted families. An infant is covered with blood while she sleeps. Her parents rush her to the hospital, where they learn the baby is untouched. Nothing in their lives will ever be untouched again. Sarah takes the case seriously, then he receives a postcard with a message. Hell begins now. A false death notice for an elderly woman is placed in the paper. More pranks spread fear and panic. The reader soon knows who's responsible, but it's hard not to have sympathy for the perp. Okay. Not my kind of book. Um, see. Um, hold on a second. I wanted to mention this one. I don't know how bad the cover is. Greg Hertz, The Survivor. 4.5 stars. This book invokes a wide range of emotions, from horror at the shocking violence to sympathy for children whose parents are absent. The plot, characters, and the actions will keep you thinking for days. Nat Nate's life is shattered when he returns from war with PSTD, which prevents him from reconnecting with his wife and daughter. Estranged from his family and diagnosed with ALS, he decides to end it all by jumping from an 11-story ledge. But while on the ledge, he hears gunshots, climbs in a window, and kills all but one of the robbers. The one who gets away whispers a threat to Nate, and although it's hard to imagine Nate's circumstances, he soon learns that things can always get worse. Oh, gee, thanks. Just what I want to know. Things can get worse. I want things to get better. On a lighter note, Bloodbath and Beyond. Michelle Rowan, 4.5 stars. Sarah Dealey and a vampire fiancé are back in a new genre. Rowan jumps from paranormal romance to paranormal mystery without skipping a beat. In the beginning of the book, Rowan removes all of Sarah's friends. You won't miss them. Sarah is so lovable that you won't notice. A child vamp and her caretaker also add a fun layer to an already strong story. Sarah has had issues being engaged to a centuries-old master vampire before, but never anything like this. Derry has agreed to take a job with a ring, a secret council that keeps vampires in line. The job requires a commitment of 50 years of travel and danger. Sarah goes along on his first job, which is in Vegas. That sounds a lot more fun than it turns out to be. When Derry's life is threatened and he is framed for murder, Sarah must clear his name before the love of her life is staked. Okay. Um, Sleeping with the Dead. Sleeping and the Dead, excuse me. 4.5 stars. Jeff Cook. This series starter should go right to the top of all bestseller lists. It is a very well written with new characters, an unusual atmosphere, and a setting and an explosive ending. Jackie Lyons is working part-time in Memphis as a photographer of crime scenes. She is called to the scene of the latest victim of the Playhouse Killer, whose especially brutal settings of killer reenact scenes from plays. She is haunted not just by these killings, but also by ghosts she has always seen. Then her new camera suddenly shows them in super sharp focus. New clues bring her to people she already knows may be involved. As she dates the man who sold her the camera, she realizes how much she didn't know about him. Interesting. Interesting. Um, and I was showing you Regencies before. Those are all the mysteries done in this magazine. Um, we've had this lady on before. I've talked about her a few different times. She's also been in the food cozies, and she was also in the Halloween cozies. So check those out. A Brew to Kill, Cleo Coyle. 4.5 stars. The completely entertaining coffee series continues with a strong 11th entry. The Greenwich Village is setting accurately portrayed and information about coffee is detailed. Coffee house manager Claire Coy isn't to let her business slide. She decides to take advantage of the coffee truck rage, but the obnoxious owner of the cupcake cart doesn't want the competition and is giving Claire and the village blend a hard time. When a friend is the victim of a deliberate hit and run, followed by a murder at a food-catered truck wedding, Claire knows it's more than just a business rivalry. Since her friend Detective Mike Quinn is in D.C., Claire works with a new detective and her ex-husband and business partner to solve the mystery. Oh, this is one I should have gotten. It was sitting right in front of me. Literally, right in front of my face. It's like, why didn't I get this book? I did get this book. The Odd Apocalypse. 4.5 stars. To say that Odd's life is about to get odder is a drastic understatement as Kuhn's characters face a mind-bending scenario. In the little over a year since the events that shattered Odd Thomas' life and sent him from Pico Mundo hometown, he has had to grow tougher and make soul-changing decisions. His ability to see shades of the dead comes into play when he and his heavily pregnant traveling companion, Anna Maria, seek shelter at Roseblend, the estate of a reclusive billionaire. Although he doesn't understand why, Odd knows that his mission to protect Anna Maria from those who are after her and her baby. But what they encounter at Roseland tests the limits of Odd's survival. Okay. Dean Koontz. You don't want to know. Okay, we don't want to know. Despite a familiar premise, Jackson's latest draws you into a story complete with mystery, suspense, and vulnerable, sympathetic hero. 2 years ago, Ava Garrison's 2-year-old son disappeared off a foggy pier near her home. Ava is convinced that she's seen Nash several times at the foggy pier since that day, but her husband's family and friends think she's hallucinating. The result of the grief over losing her son is Ava grapples with what's real and what's not. Just a second. Okay. You don't want to know. Despite a familiar premise, Jackson's latest draws you into a story complete with mystery, suspense, and vulnerable. I got distracted by my clock. Sorry. 2 years ago, Ava Garrison's 2-year-old son disappeared off a foggy pier at home. Ava is convinced that she's seen Noah several times on the foggy pier since that day, but her husband's family and friends think she's hallucinating. The result of the grief over losing her son is Ava grapples with what's real and what's not. She can't let go of the hope that her son is still alive. I would hope that my son is still alive too. Kay Hooper. Haven. The psychic operatives of SCU and Haven are once more on the trail of deadly killer in Hooper's hunting new series, Bishop's Special Crimes release. Jesse Rayburn ran away from home of Barron Hollow, North Carolina as a teen, knowing dark events happened there, though she's unable to remember them. Her ability to see ghosts led her to become an investigator with Haven. Emma Rayburn stayed in Barron Hollow and only developed her own powers after hitting her head. She's been dreaming of a young woman being tortured and murdered, but assumes they are only dreams, until Jesse returns. After seeing the ghost of one of the murdered girls, Jesse lets Haven know, and they send out Nathan Navarro, whose ability to find dead bodies leads to a first confirmation of the killer. Ugh! Scary, 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 scary. Okay. We're all done with mystery. And on to contemporary romance. And just to let you know, this video will take 2 days to upload. Absolutely serious, absolutely hand to God. This video will take 30 hours to upload. Thing is, by the time this video airs, Christmas will be over. But it's gonna take 30 hours to upload. This is pretty though. Isn't it pretty? I like the church. I still haven't figured out why I bought this one. The tree's not even green. I think it'd be better if the tree was green. Alright, Forever and a Day, Jill Chavez. And she's probably going to be seen in our February Second Chance. She does second chance romances. 4 stars. Chavez once again racks up a hit with this latest Lucky Harbor novel, with a killer cupcake recipe that will have readers licking their lips in anticipation. Grace Brooks has hit rock bottom after leaving a potential job. Grace lands in Lucky Harbor out of gas and just about broke. She picks up odd jobs here and there, but none quite so odd as walking Dr. Joshua Scott's dog. Josh doesn't have the time to deal with housebreaking his son's new puppy, let alone act on the chemistry simmering between him and Grace. But the attraction is overwhelming and he can't resist. Well, of course. Rochelle Allers. Please go check out my Black Authors video and my Native American video. Allers returns to Low County of Kavanaugh Island for second installment of her three-part series. Family secrets are exposed and the life of New Yorker social worker is changed forever. The life portrayed in these pages reveals snippets of rich history of African Americans and the details of the island's social structure from past eras. When Karen Newell responds to a missive from Tyler Payton's attorney, she is blindsided about the news that not only was he her biological father, but he has willed her his entire estate. Fending off attempts by her newfound relations to nullify her claims, Karen decides to accept her inheritance and restore Angel's Landing. She is also drawn to the island sheriff, former Marine Jeff Hamilton. Oh, who else is good to get together with than a Marine? Always, always. Susan Mallory, all summer long. 4.5 stars. The dangers of basing opinions on appearance are examined from both Angel's and Mallory's newest Fools of Gold book, but both the hero and heroine being judged or discounted because of their appearances has led to challenges and some emotional scars. Former underwear model turned entrepreneur Clay Stryker is used to being underestimated even by his own family. However, he won't let that stop him from starting his new endeavor in Fool's Gold. The daughter of legendary ballerina firefighter Charlie Dixon never measured up in her mother's eyes. Because of his sexual assault during her college days, Charlie has been unable to get close to a man. When Clay decides to become a volunteer firefighter, Charlie begins to see him in a new light. Ah! Romance! Romance! Love a good romance. And another lady that we have talked about quite a bit in these. I've also did a solo issue on her going through all my books. You know, she wrote a vampire series too. I talked about that too. Linda Leo Miller. We got the McKettricks and we got the Creeds. And we got the Sky series. 4 stars. This additional delight to Miller's Big Sky series. This author has a way with phrase that is nigh on poetic, and all of snappy little interactions between the main and secondary characters make the story entertaining. Hutch Commodity leaves his fiancée at the altar, realizing at last minute that he can't marry this woman he doesn't love. Kendra Shepard is not exactly unhappy to hear this. She's back in Parador, Montana, after a trip to England to see her dying ex-husband and months of searching for his 4-year-old daughter when he asked her to find and adopt. Even Hutch always held on infuriating attractions for her. Can they get together? I have to see. So the big thing called love. Susan Anderson. See, now that's a page. That's a with the yellow contrasting. You can see that on this computer. Normally, you can't see the white book. 4 stars. Anderson again turns in a solid romance featuring regular people, her signature character shining. Her ability to take those horrible moments of youth and project the grown-ups of 15 years later is remarkable. Jenny has been big sister and caregiver to Austin since he was a toddler, and she was traumatized teen. Now that the grandparents and guardians have died, she has temporary guardian to the teen and manager a resort in the small town of Razor Bay, Washington. She is perfectly happy to make this permanent, but the lawyers insist on locating Austin's always absent dad, Jake Bradshaw. Never in her wildest nightmares could Jake turn out to be the gorgeous and determined be a dad despite Austin's resistance. They have a past. Let's see what that's like. Lisa Callippis. Oh, we will talk about her a lot. Dream Lake. 4 stars. If you like a ghost as a character, think of the Ghost and Mrs. Muir, then you'll love this installment of the Friday Harbor series. Alex Nolan is the most hard-bitten, hard-living, and haunted of the Nolan brothers, literally. The ghost from Rain Shadow Road is tied to him, but he doesn't know why. Alex agrees to remodel a cottage for Zoe Hoffman, baker and cook extraordinaire, who is bringing her grandmother Emma to live with her. This doesn't mean he wants anything to do with her personally. Her gentle personality combined with a lush body is a recipe for trouble. And he's pained by divorce, so we'll see what happens there. Normal. My favorite subject. Ileana Andrews. Didn't they earlier compare the sci-fi book to her? Gunmetal Magic. 4.5 stars. This enormously riveting world of Kate Daniels expands to include a book featuring Kate's BFF, Andrea Nash. Most level-headed Andrea has seen her world implode after losing her position as Knight of the Order, but the fallout makes her fabulous reading. For much of her life, Beast King Andrea Nash has hidden her shapeshifter side and pretended to be fully human. It was necessary to maintain her career as Knight of the Order. In the aftermath of Era's rampage in Atlanta, Andrea not only lost her career, she also lost her relationship with Rafael Madera, the alpha male of the Boudin clan. Rebuilding her life starts with Andrea investigating the BFF Kate at cutting-edge investigations. See what happens there. The care and feeding of stray vampires. Naked guy on the cover. There you go. 4.5 stars. If you love books with humor and heart, The Care and Feeding of Stray Vampires is for you. The irresistible Harper has a snarky sense of humor that is so fun, and she writes characters you can't help fall in love with. Iris is Half Moon Junction's only vampire servant for hire, doing all the daytime errands her vampire employers don't have the time for. Iris knows more about vampires than she would like. When she goes to deliver a new client and finds him lying poisons on the floor, she takes him in. Cal is a vampire in need, and Iris is there to provide him with hiding place for a hefty fee, of course, and maybe some side benefits? We shall see. Shadow Raising Castle. Shadow Raising. Kendra Lee Castle. Naked guy on the cover. I think we've got a trend here. 4.5 stars. Castle rejuvenates the paranormal genre with her singular take on vampire myths. Ariana belongs to the Grigori, a secret desert-dwelling sect of vampires. The Grigori are duty-bound to watch but never interfere in the affairs of others. When her only friend disappears, Adrian defies these rules and sets out to find him. And love ensues. Master of Darkness. I do not know what happened. I'm really pissed off. It wasn't like this when I took it off the shelf. But a cat must have picked it up and my husband or somebody must have put it back on the table and the cover got bent. I hate when the cover get bent. Master of Darkness, Angela Knight, 4.5 stars. After 8 sizzling and exhilarating books, Knight brings her MAGA series to a close with the 9th and final chapter, Master of Darkness. As the daughter of the extraordinarily powerful werewolf sorcerer called Warlock, Miranda Drake knows she may be the only one who can stop him. However, to succeed in that mission, Miranda is going to need some serious backup. Dire Wolf William Justice has been assigned to protect Miranda and takes his mission carefully. War is coming, but thankfully a deathbed prophecy hints at what is required to defeat Warlock. It will be up to Miranda and Justice to unlock the meaning of the prophecy and maybe find love at the same time. I have got to fix this. Christina died. Wilder. I've got a lot of her books too. I think she's got a Master of Darkness too. Dodd 4.5 stars. Dodd wraps up her thrilling Chosen One series in a superb fashion with a romantic beauty and the Beast homage. The struggle against Satan rising in the form of evil mastermind Osgood reaches chilling climax as the Chosen Ones. After 7 years of battling against Osgood and his mission to bring Satan to power, Charisma Fanghorn is beneath New York City fighting demons. She is losing and close to death when she is rescued by a beast called the Guardian. 3 years ago, Chosen One Alexander Wilder disappeared after going off with the woman he had fallen for, leaving everyone to wonder about his fate. Alexander was betrayed and experimented on, leaving behind a literal beast with no memory of the past. Ah! Nurse back from health and falls in love. Classic. Gina Showalter, Wicked Nights, 4 stars. The always excellent Showalter spins off a new series that remains an alternate reality but features a band of angels on the verge of falling from grace. The deity has decided that Angel Zakarel's severe detachment from emotion is causing him to create too much collateral damage in the war with demons. As punishment, Zakarel charged with leading a band of rebels and tortured angels and making them into an army that respects human life. If they fail, they will lose their wings. Laurie London, Seduced by Blood. Oops. Naked guy on the cover. This is becoming a trend, isn't it? Oh, good lord, this video is gonna be forever to upload. I could talk about this magazine for hours. 4 stars. The Pacific Northwest continues to the hotspot for the battle between the Guardians and the Dark Lords. The fine line the Guardians walk in their struggle not to become what they fight against odds. It's a punch of tension and urgency to London's compelling series. Tracker Roxy Reynolds is no slouch in a fight as she deftly proves by taking out 2 Dark Bloods while saving a sweet blood human. Tristan San Diego, the Region Guardian Commander, is directly impressed, though he has his reservations about Roxy, but San Diego is going to need Roggy's skills to defeat the guy. The witch is back. H.P. Mallory. Fourth in Mallory's funny and romantic series, this book can be read alone but be fully appreciated in order. Because of its time-twisting plot, The Witch is Back could be viewed almost as a prequel or an alternate beginning, lighter fare than the previous novel Wishful Thinking. This installment is Jolie Wilkins' series in a humorous, genuine dialogue and realistic characterization that will delight readers. On day 1, she's queen. The next day, she's back in her little tarot shop reading without a clue. With no idea of witchy power she possesses, Julie is romanced by a handsome dark stranger. In fact, her love life has never been better. Another man has come knocking, but she can't seem to shake an odd feeling of deja vu. Will she remember? Laura Lee, Steigen's honor. A parent's instinct to protect his child in this new flashpoint from the newest chapter in Lee's long-running Breed series. As a toddler, Amber Wyatt struggled to survive the effects of the mysterious drug she was injected with. Jonas Wyatt vows to do anything to save her. Jonas' best hope is to find the long-time missing Anna Roberts and Faye Carrigan, a young woman who similarly experimented on as children and survived. Gotta survive and get romance. Taken in Jane Toombs. The first book in a new series from Toombs contains a fast-moving and suspenseful story, an offer and assortment of appealing characters, including tenacious FBI agent, a down-on-the-luck heroine, and a house full of ghosts. Gail Saradin longs for the day her artwork will be successful enough to allow her to quit her full dull day job. An unwelcome note from her ex-boyfriend asking to meet her leads to witnessing a murder. See what happens there. If you haven't seen my Argenos, please go watch my Argeno videos. They are the best, and Marguerite is the best. A solid addition to the Argeno saga, Sand's latest showcase greet characters and provide a pleasant reacquaintance with previous ones. Widower Paul Jones' 5-year-old daughter Livy is dying. Paul works for Argeno Enterprises and is one of the few mortals who knows their secrets. Desperate to save Livy, he kidnaps powerful Argeno vampire Jean Louise, hoping to get her blood so he can save his daughter. And the nanos. The nanos are a big thing. If you can let those go, you're good to go. Harry Vaughn. Kitty steals the show. She steals everything. Born of Stars. As a character and heroine, Kitty Norval has become a long way baby. In this latest installment, she's landed the role of keynote speaker at the first International Conference of Preternatural Studies. Kitty's unquenchable curiosity goes into overdrive when she, Ben, and Comic head to London for Supernatural Compass. With so many soups in one place, Kitty plans to shake the bushes and see what she can find out about ancient vampire Roman's long game. With the help of Ned, the master vampire of London, Kitty gets her glimpse into the vampire politics. Interesting. It looks like I missed your book. That one. We will do this series next year. Biting Cold. Loyal fans were rewarded in the previous chapter of the stirring Chicagoland vampire series by mind-blowing return of Connigan vampire Ethan. Since Ethan's return, Merritt has been on an emotional roller coaster, but been wonderful and unsettling. Now Merritt's former best friend Mallory has gone off the deep end, dabbling in some dangerous magic. So good. This series is so good. Where is... Did I do this already? Yes, I did this already. And I've got a book that was missed. So I'll just go back and do it real quick from Mysteries. Kill You Twice, Chelsea Ken. 4 stars. Serial killer Gretchen Lowell is back in the 5th installment of Archie Sheridan's series. Although there is plenty of blood, this time we get some of Gretchen's background story along with nuances and complex relationships. Several gruesome murders with links to Gretchen cause Archie to seek her help. Gretchen is confined in a mental hospital, almost unrecognizable in her druggable state. But the clues she provides leads Archie to an investigation of an old missing person case in a small town. Maybe they need to get Gretchen off her stuff where she put there by mistake as somebody keeping her hostage or something. You'll have to see what happens there. Okay. And let's see. I didn't pick out a few in advance. Let's see. Super Romance. Within Reach. Gonna be the books on this page. Sarah Mayberry, Within Reach. 4.5 stars. 10 months after her best friend Billy Robinson dies of an undiagnosed congenital heart defect, Angela Bartlett is determined to face Billy's widower Michael back into the land of the living. Having taken a year off of work, buried away with his children to mourn, Angela is worried that Michael's not getting any better, and she decides to spend more time with him and the kids in order to help out, and I guess they fall in love along the way. Making her way home. That's this one over here. Janice K. Johnson, having just gotten custody of her 10-year-old niece, Cicely, after her sister's apparent suicide, event planner Beth Greenway is traumatized when the young girl goes missing. After police are called in, Beth finds herself leaning on Detective Mac Ryan for help. When a ransom demand is made, Mike is there for her as she must deal with their own horrible, abusive mother and uncaring father while they all wait for Cicely's return. On her side is this one over here. 4 stars, Beth Andrews, determined to find her mother's suspected killer, Dale York, and bring him to justice. Attorney Nora Sullivan seeks out son Griffin to find clues of the man's whereabouts. Unfortunately, Griffin has no clue where his father is and would just as soon never again see the man who abused him and his mother before disappearing 20 years earlier. And A Better Man. Looks like a man in uniform. Ross Sterling takes a job as police chief in his hometown to keep an eye on his mother after she agrees to reconcile with his recently paroled abused father. Being home also allows him to reconnect with Piper Hamilton, the girl he loved and lost years earlier when his father forced him to enlist in the military and leave town. That is the end. And this video is going to take 30 to 40 uploads. I hope you've all seen it. I hope you will check into, oh look, Laura Steigen, Laura Lee. I love this magazine. Don't forget to check out If Thens on Fridays and Star Trek recaps on Fridays and my daily book reviews and all my little other videos. Please hit the like and subscribe and have a good day. Thank you for tuning in so long. I love this magazine. I can talk about it forever. I can go through it page by page by page for hours. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey. Have a good one.